Welcome to the Great African Leadership Series, where we feature great inspirational speeches and quotes from African leaders.
When elephants fight,
it
the
is the grass that suffers.
When elephants make love, it also ruins. It is also the
grass that suffers.
Now, this picturesque phrase was used just the other day by one of your leaders. Do you fancy this metaphor for the relationship between the superpowers at the moment?
Well, first of all, may I tell you the story about that metaphor?
Right, right.
In 1973, the Commonwealth met in Ottawa. No, the Commonwealth met in Ottawa.
Right.
And that was the period when the North was talking about détente, and Brezhnev was pushing for détente, and the Northwest had accepted this idea. And in Ottawa, the Prime Minister of Great Britain, Teddy Heath at that time, was explaining the importance of this, the importance of détente, and it took a long time to explain. And why he was taking such a long time to explain was that the Prime Minister of Singapore was not really, didn't think there was very much in this. This was the West abandoning leaving the Far East, and this was, he didn't like this idea at all. And he was taking a lot of time to explain the importance of this. And I thought, I must reassure this man. Why does he take such a long time to explain détente? So I said, Mr. Prime Minister, let me assure you, why do you take such a long time? We don't want trouble between the superpowers. What good does it do? In Swahili there is a saying, in Swahili, when the elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers. And Lee Kuan Yew is a very intelligent person, and very quick, he said, when the elephants make love, it is the grass that suffers. that was Lee Kuan Yew. It was not mine. It was a retort from Lee Kuan Yew.
I see. So the point is, is this an accurate description of the possibility?
Well, I'm afraid, you have to think about that, because we in Africa have suffered both. The elephants have fought in Africa, and we suffered when the elephants were actually fighting in Africa. But the elephants made love about Africa also. And the partition of Africa was actually a making of love. They met in Berlin, and they were not fighting in Berlin at all. They met in Berlin in 1884 to partition Africa without fighting. And so, there is some truth in all these statements. There is an element of truth. And I think what people are trying to say is, yes, we would like the Northeast and the Northwest to stop their tensions, because that tensions now between the East and the West can be very dangerous to everybody, including the South. So we should welcome this, the making of love between the Northeast and the Northwest. But of course, you do say the North is very powerful. Supposing the North was to make love simply to dominate the South, well, I mean, this we have to say. What does this mean to us? What does it mean to us? It can mean peace, yes, but peace for what? Because peace is a product. I keep repeating this. Peace is a product of justice. For us, it was a practical thing. First of all, we did not have another party, and I was not going to create another party in order to please some people in the Western world, that I couldn't have a democratic government without a second party. Where was I going to get a second party? I didn't have it. Our first elections, we used to have one party, and we had no elections in a sense, because our party used to be returned unopposed, no elections, because there was no other party. And so we established a single party by law. But since then, I was very pleased that we were a single party, because many of these nations, India is lucky, but many of these nations now who preached to us about multi-parties in 1990, 1989, they were not built by multi-parties. They're monarchies, many of these countries. They were built as nations. They were not built on a basis of a multi-party system. They were built by families until they became nations.
And share this video with friends and family to support the channel.